Why I became a U.S. citizen. After a year of waiting, I found myself reciting the words I had been practicing and preparing to speak. I took time away from school and work in the middle of the week to travel down to Chicago. And now here I was, in this large auditorium with 98 other people, going through the naturalization oath of allegiance to the United States of America. I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. The room felt small, and families filed in to support their loved ones. My head was spinning. I didn't know why I was still so anxious. This was the easiest part of the whole process. Why am I so nervous? At the ceremony, we watched videos about American and patriotism, took the oath of allegiance, sang the Star-Spangled Banner, and said the Pledge of Allegiance while being led by the children in the audience. In the end, we received our naturalization certificate, and just like that, a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. I could finally call myself a U.S. citizen, starting my path. I'm like any other college student, active in both my studies and extracurriculars. As an undergrad at Marquette University, I majored in speech pathology and audiology and public relations. Now, I'm getting my master's degree in speech language pathology. I was a student clinician in the MU Health Sciences Speech and Hearing Clinic. I took an active role in Bahamian student organization. I love to work on art as a creative outlet. What most people around me don't know is that despite moving to the United States almost 14 years ago, I wasn't a U.S. citizen. I've been a permanent resident since I was a child. I didn't really think about what it meant back then because I was still young and it wasn't brought up in conversations. Now that I am 23 years old, I'm starting to think more about my future. My Philippine passport was going to expire in 2019. What did I want? I've lived in the United States since I was 9 years old, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not planning to move out of the country anytime soon. There was no reason for me not to become a citizen. This spring, I started my naturalization application. I removed my permanent resident card in a few months prior and realized it was about time to start the process. My family was very supportive of me. We've had the conversation years prior about where I want to be, and I chose to stay in America. So this next step was to finally make things official. Even knowing what I wanted, this wasn't going to be a simple process. After I sent in my paperwork, I was scheduled to come in for biometrics testing, fingerprinting, a month after they received my application. I had to wait another 5 months until I received the notice for my interview. Then the wait finally begun. The nerves set in. I couldn't sleep all week leading up to the interview. Using a poll on Instagram stories, I asked my friends what they do when they feel anxious. I received over 20 responses, so I tried a few different things, and it helped me get a decent night's sleep before my interview. It was definitely the most nerve-wracking part of this process. I drove from Milwaukee to Chicago in the middle of the week, so I had to notify my clinical placement and work that I'll be taking a couple days to take care of personal matters. I didn't tell them what I was actually doing. I didn't want to jinx it before it was official. I'm sorry for this late night email. I noticed him already, but I wanted to let you know that I will not be in office this week because I will be in Chicago at home to take care of personal matters. I meant to send this earlier in the week, but it completely slipped my mind because of clinicals in class. I hope you understand. I will be back next week. Thank you. Once I was in the building, I was so anxious I couldn't even properly drink water because I was shaking so much. It was like getting sent to the principal's office, knowing that I did nothing wrong, but I was questioning my innocence anyway. They went through my whole application to make sure my answers were consistent. I was asked to read and write in English. My handwriting was so shaky I almost felt bad for the immigration officer who had to read it. I took the civics test, and we had to get 6 out of 10 questions correct in order to pass. Being the overachiever that I am, I memorized the 100 questions and answers in the prep packet they gave me. It's safe to say I passed with flying colors. Taking the oath. I received the notice for my oath ceremony quickly. A few days before my ceremony, my mom called to check in on me and ask how the process was going. It was pretty apparent that she was as nervous as I was. The conversation went a little something like this. Mom, how's it going? How did your interview go? It was great, I passed. Oh right, I forgot to tell you, my oath ceremony is this week. Why didn't you tell me right away? I was praying for you every day. Now I've gotten myself a little bit of time to reflect on what's happened so far. In some ways, it's like earning your degree. Nothing and everything changes at the same time. I do feel great about having a voice and being able to vote during elections. I'm ecstatic. I'm finally able to vote in the next election because I was 1 week shy of the termed election. On the citizen level, my whole life has changed, but on the personal level, nothing is different. As one does when something great happens in their life, I posted about it on social media. I received many well wishes and congratulations, but also quite a few, I didn't know you weren't American. This made me think, what does it mean to be American? I worried about being treated differently because I'm a citizen on paper, but I wasn't born here. My biggest takeaway from this experience is that what matters is how we treat each other with mutual respect, regardless of our backgrounds. My friends accepted me for who I am before I was an American citizen, and that hasn't changed. I had the same hopes and dreams before I had that certificate as I do now. I'm worthy of being treated with respect yesterday and today. Today, the anxiety about the whole process is gone, but overall, nothing much about me has changed. Now, I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm a college graduate, and I'm still me.